What's up, you guys? So this is gonna be my trade recap for the last few days. I'm gonna start off with today and move back. Just because today, since it's fresh, I remember it a little bit more. I'm doing the trade cube recap really, really late, but I really want to try and do my best to start being more consistent with them and trying to do them every day. But just sometimes life just doesn't allow you to, and sometimes I'm at work or whatever. I digress. Let's move on. Going into the day, I did have a bullish bias today, mainly due to the fact that we have this channel here on NQ that we were in for some time, broke out of, then broke up again. This was a crazy move. This was on the same day where like we had this dump in the morning and then just an insane recovery. But whatever. Then we kind of bounced off of this top trend line for a few days and then ultimately broke under it during Asian session and London session. Mostly Asian session, we broke under it, and then during London session we came down. I was monitoring this from yesterday to today, going into this morning. And yesterday night when I was looking at it, we were kind of up here, and I just thought in my head I was like, oh, yeah, I had at least my plan was kind of to get this kind of move that we got here. Oh, what the hell? How do I get it to? Is it the path kind of thing? Path. Okay, yeah, that's it. I was expecting like this was exactly what I was expecting. This bounce right here, right? But so yeah, so I saw it down here and I was like, oh, that'd be great if it happens. Woke up this morning, we were at the bottom of the trend line, and I was like, perfect. This is exactly what I was hoping for. And if you guys look, also this diagonal level of support here kind of also lines up with this level of support here. So we did sweep these lows today. These are really high time frame lows today, and then just shot up to the upside. So yeah, this is more so the 4 hours what I was really looking at last night. So I was just really expecting this move right here, and it kind of lines up with this support here, and bada boom, bada bing. Scale down to the lower time frames here. So I waited till 10. Today was no news, so we didn't really have much, nothing really to wait for. Just kind of waiting for this to hit. So this was 9:45. Price was still dumping. I figured. And I didn't want to, obviously, you don't want to, I didn't want to enter up here. So let's keep scaling down here. Anyways, I saw we were at the trend line, and I saw we started having a rejection. So I entered a bit aggressive off of this because I entered kind of in this general area, give or take, because I didn't, what's it called? I don't remember. Like I didn't make this long position when I was in the trade. So this is a rough estimate. I roughly entered around here, like, give or take. My stops were down here, and yeah. So because we had no news today, I had the aggressive entry, but I sized down. So I did half of my position, right? So I only did one contract as opposed to my normal two. And that was my original plan for the day, was just to take the one and write it up. But I ended up deciding I wanted to add another one just because like price was moving so clean up. Then we started kind of chopping around here from about 10:30 to like 12-ish. We really started chopping around here. So I figured we were building a support to then continue to the upside. I mean, obviously that's exactly what we did. But so what I did was I added another position quite late into my entry. Like, so it was really, really far. And I guess with the way that TradingView does your position, or Tradeovate, I guess, which is my broker, is it like dollar cost averages my position. So since I had my original position here, it moved up my position to like way the fuck up here, basically to where this stop is. So, and I added this long position inside of the long position because this is roughly where I entered the second position as well. So on that, I had my stops. It was, yeah, it was something like here or that. Yeah, something like that. Because I remember having my, oh, the entry. Man, I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It was somewhere around the 200 MA down here. Because I remember looking at it specifically on M1 at around this time, 11:50. and my entry was somewhere around here, and I had my stops in profit. So my stop was like about here, and I was like, damn, I really hope it doesn't want to retouch the 200 MA on M1 to bounce up. That would be awful because it would take me out. Luckily, it didn't. That didn't happen, but it was whatever. Like my stops were in profit. I wouldn't have really lost anything for the day. And like I said, today wasn't even really one of those days where I really wanted to go super aggressive, like off rip and enter with like 2 contracts. So, um, so yeah, I just had my stops at so like I said, let me just do this real quick. Boom, and then my stop was like up here. Let's make that red. Yeah, so then it was it looked something like that. This is where my entry moved up to from this position. It moved up to here because I added super late, like somewhere over here, and it moved up to up here. I had my stops in profit from the new entry, and I was like, if it hits, it hits. You know, whatever it is, what it is. At least it's gonna be in profit. I don't really care. I in reality, I wasn't even really gonna be looking for a trade today. That was really like my bias. I was really gonna take it easy today and just wait for FOMC tomorrow. But you know, whatever. I saw the good opportunity. I saw the good setup. Took it. Boom, boom. My target was the 200 MA of M15, which, like I said in my previous trade recap, which I have no idea where I posted on my channel or the trading journal here, or if I did it like what's it called, a private video just to show the guys. Yeah, I don't know, but whatever. Long story short, though, what I've been doing as of recent, for the last few months, is I've been targeting the 200 MA of whatever time frame it is. But I put it a few points lower just to, be a little bit more secure. I don't want to target exactly the touch of the 200 MA. Like I've done that, and shit like this happens where it just like barely doesn't touch it by like, you know, 5 points. Like by 5 points, I would have not been in the trade, and I would have got actually stopped out at break even. So I've been doing that. I've been moving it like 10, 20 points lower. Like at 10, 20 points, I really don't care about 10, 20 points. I'm not doing super high leverage. So 10, 20 points really doesn't make a big difference for me. So I've just been setting it there. And look at that. Like perfect touch, and then we reversed. And then we had this crazy pump up at like 6 p.m. at market open, which is crazy, but whatever. On to yesterday. Yesterday was a similar situation, similar setup, but just on the other side of the trend line, right? So we got this bounce and rejection off of the trend line during pre-market. As you can see here, this is like 7 a.m., 8 a.m. going into market open. So I wanted to take that, but obviously it was during pre-market. So I don't enter here. At least for me, I don't enter until 10 a.m. because from 9:30 to 10 a.m. I have found that the market just likes to sweep liquidity and fucking take everybody out. So with that being said, I saw the bounce. I was waiting for a touch. I was actually looking at this specifically, and I was waiting for the touch of this 200 MA on M15, which we got. Which we did get. Oh yeah, I remember. Okay, I remember this. So this was a very, very similar situation. I entered one position, I believe, like way up here, like for a long, like way the fuck up here, right? And I was like, damn, this is a really bad like place to be in the market right here. So I saw price took a dump right here to retest M1 and M15 because they're like in very similar areas down here. M1 and M15. Like look, let's see. We draw a line here. Like look at where that tested. Like look at that shit, bro. That's crazy. So it's like there's double support there. So I took that as an opportunity. I entered from here. I added another position somewhere here, not quite down here, but somewhere here. It ended up dumping a little bit lower, but that's fine. I wasn't really scared of that. But I ended up adding somewhere along this range right here. And since we were still really close to my original entry, it really brought my entry like pretty far down. So which is why I have this long position here. And then from there, I'm not gonna lie, it was a very long trade. I didn't hit my TP because my TP was these highs up here, but just under them. So I was trying to be a little like, I wasn't trying to be greedy and target this tippity toppity high right here, because I was like, you know what, like I said, I'm not gonna take my bread and dip. I don't want to be too ambitious with the market. I don't want to get greedy. Greed is what takes your bread away from you. So I targeted up here. We didn't quite hit them. Um, but whatever. But this trade took forever, man. Like, look, I entered around pretty much around 10 a.m. Added my second position around 10:20, 10:25, and then this trade got dragged out. I believe I closed here at 3 p.m. or maybe even below. Nah, it was like up here. I closed on this like down candle right before price started dumping and it crossed the 200, the 50 MA here. Because another thing I had noticed during this trade is it would break it would break the 50, but ultimately it would get respected. And it was kind of like but it wouldn't go under the 200 MA, right? And it was also kind of just following the 50 and the 20. The purple line is the 20, the green line is the 50. So it's kind of just following that line, and it was really using them as support, especially towards this top end over here. So for this last like hour, for this last hour or so, I was really respecting this level. So once I saw I broke this right here, I pretty much closed out right here. And this trade we hit, oh crap. I don't know. This trade was a smaller win. It was only like a $300 win. Nothing too crazy. Oh, and the P&L for today was like, for this trade was like 670 something. So not a bad trade. Yeah. This trade that I took on Friday to end off last week, similar story. As I've been saying, very similar story with all of these trades. I believe this was a key level. Yeah, okay, I remember this. So this again, similar story. We had well, not similar story actually. This is quite a bit of a different play, but we had a bounce off of the trend line again here. So like kind of like how we had here, we had the bounce, and I was expecting a pullback to go. Here we had the pullback a little earlier. No, I lied. This is 10 a.m. Never mind. Scratch that. I'm fucking stupid. I just entered late, like mad late. What does it say? 10. Yeah, I just entered 10. I just entered late, like 10:45, 10:30. I missed it, but whatever. So we were here on this trend line for overnight. So we broke through it, bounced off of the M15 200, broke through it, bounced off of the trend line, rejected, da 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 da. So we got this move pre-market, right? Then we had this pump up at 8:30 because this day there was news. On Friday there was news at 8:30. I forget what it was. Unemployment claims, PMI, some shit like that. I don't know. There was news, so we got the pre-market pump up at 8:30. Then market opens, and we get a pullback to that move, like from that pump up. So if we hit it with one of these, look at where that pulled back to. Perfectly in between, what I would call roughly the gold zone. Not quite the gold zone here, but in between the 618 and the 382 is somewhere where it's like a good retracement, a healthy retracement for price action. I'd be extremely confident taking a buy anywhere in this range. But yeah, good retracement and then continued up. I ended up entering quite late, but I did see that price was kind of chopping a bit. After that pullback, we were kind of chopping, kind of building a support similar to this. So we broke the recent high, made a new high, and then kind of chopped a little bit more to build another support, I guess. So what I did, I believe this day, was I just set limit order at the bottom of the range to go higher, and that's exactly what I did. So ideally, I wanted to enter down here, but I just missed this entry. I wasn't looking, and it was whatever. It just took off without me. No matter. No matter. What am I trying to sound so sophisticated for? What the fuck? It doesn't fucking matter. I put a limit order here. I got tapped, and I was kind of in and out of profit for a little bit, and ultimately we took off. Then we started kind of chopping around, and this day I believe I ended up closing somewhere around here. Like, no, I definitely didn't hold that shit till 6 p.m. I don't know why I have this dragged out way over here. Definitely closed out way before that, like 2 p.m. or something. I closed out somewhere here. Yeah, it was something like that. Let me see. Let me just put this in paper trading and make this order. I believe this day I had the 2 contracts, and no, definitely didn't close for 500. It was like a 360. Yeah, so I definitely closed around this candle. So definitely closed around this candle here. The bottom of this candle around 245. Again, this was another one of those super long trades. This down candle really probably just scared the fuck out of me. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember this. too much, but this down candle probably scared the fuck out of me on M5, so I just closed it out. I was in profit. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take my bread. It's Friday. I'm gonna just take my bread and dip. Closed out for, let's see, I have it pulled up here. Closed out for a $321 win. Yeah. So that was, let me see it again. 300. Yeah, that's exactly where I closed. That's exactly where I thought. 321. So we're right about there. So I closed on at the bottom of the down candle, and then it ended up just continuing to dump. So I'm glad I closed. But yeah, that is pretty much my trade recap for the last few days. So now that I made this trade recap, I can delete all this bullshit. These days I've just been getting clapped. Like this day, earlier, last week, this is where we had that crazy like pump, like just dump, and then we just pumped, like dump and pump. And it was just crazy. So we were trending down, like all pre-market, market open. Then we were just continuing to dump, and I was like, all right, cool, it's gonna be a down day, fire. And then I entered shorts, and we just immediately ran to my stop, and then just like didn't look back. I'm glad I stuck to my trading plan this day, and I didn't over leverage, I didn't over trade or anything. I took this one trade, got hit, got stopped out, call it a day, and it took off without me, but I didn't really care. It is what it is. So we can safely delete this, that, and today's trade. Don't mind these arrows. This is just fucking me eating shit on this paper trading account, just bullshitting. What else did I want to talk about? No, I think that's it. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I want to try to be more consistent with this, and I want to try to be no, what the fuck? I want to try to be more consistent with this, and I want to try to post these daily, ideally, hopefully, maybe. We'll see. So that's why I kind of gone over the beginning of this week and today, and then hopefully tomorrow I will. I'll see you guys again for another trade recap. I don't know exactly when I'm gonna do it in terms of time of day. When? No idea, but we'll figure it out. My goal is to really just get it done and just do them, and then once I start just doing them, then I feel like I'll start building a better habit of doing them, and then eventually I'll do them daily. But I feel like I just need to start trying to at least be more consistent with them. So those trades from Friday to today, I was trading on my Top Step account on my eval, and with those wins from Friday, Monday, and today, I'm sitting at about 51,465. Well, I am right here, fucking dumbass. I'm sitting at 51,465. So I'm about halfway. I'm about halfway towards the goal of 3,000. Hopefully we can pass soon, so we can get back on a live account. So yeah, I don't believe I don't believe. I know I didn't do a fucking video on my live account, but I recently had a live account and I fucking blew that shit because I was fucking greedy, like a fucking little bitch. So yeah, I want to see if I can get back to a live account and we start making some of this bread.